What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I bought a Nintendo Switch a little bit after Christmas, and on the Nintendo service you have access to original NES games, Super Nintendo games. It's kind of like, you know, a Nintendo Classic, SNES Classic built in to your Nintendo Switch. Well, it's not built in, you have to pay for the service, but it's like $3 a month and you get all access to everything that they provide onto the service. It's not like you have access to all the games. But long story short, it felt wrong playing these classic games with modern controllers, like the Pro controller, which I absolutely love and I think is an absolute must for the Nintendo. For any Nintendo Switch owner, you need to own a Pro controller. They're very pricey. In my mind, they're overpriced, but they are crucial to the enjoyment of your Switch. But like I said, when you're playing these classic games, it feels wrong, right? It really does. Feels wrong. So I was in the market for some compatible classic controllers that were, you know, either Bluetooth or that would work with the Switch. Now I had heard of 8Bitdo, 8Bitdo. It's 8Bitdo, I'm sure. Do doesn't make any sense, but it's, you know, it's kind of a weird name. I've seen them. I've seen other YouTubers use them, seen other gamers use them. They get, you know, really, really good reviews. People seem to really like them. So I bought one. The first one I picked up was the 8Bitdo SNES controller. This thing is marvelous. Now this is the thing that's kind of crazy about these, and maybe it's not crazy. I don't know. I'm also tired. Just got off work all the time. I think I've said that before. I'm super busy. I work constantly and tired all the time. Anyway, the build quality on these things is absolutely top notch. Like, they are worth every penny that you pay for these things. They work extremely well, and they feel like the genuine real thing. It's unreal. Now, of course, there's, you know, the shoulder buttons were on the original SNES controller, but these have, you know, 4 shoulder buttons, 2 triggers, 2 shoulders, and your sticks down here, which obviously the SNES controllers didn't have, but it feels just like the SNES controllers did, and still do if you have them. And they make playing SNES games feel just completely, just the way it makes them feel like they should, right? It feels so good. Another big plus in my book is every 8Bitdo controller I own is USB Type-C connection, which is completely awesome. I don't know why everything that connects via USB these days isn't Type-C. What are we doing? I mean, come on. So after I bought the SNES ones, I was like, man, I wonder if they make one in the style of a original NES controller to play the original NES games. And sure enough, they do. This is the N30. I believe this is the SN30 Pro Gamepad. It's completely awesome, worth every penny, highly recommended. And here is the N30. Now, as you notice, the one main difference between this and an original NES controller obviously are the turbo buttons up here. These are turbo buttons, so it's turbo all the time, but these are your standard down here, and there's 2 shoulder buttons. So obviously that's different. But again, I am a complete liar, so you can't trust anything I say because this is mini USB. This is not Type-C. But, you know, you can't be right about everything, guys. Just saying. I'm sorry, I've been watching a lot of Vice Grip Garage lately and I just can't get it out of my head. I have problems. But these controllers are I love them. These are the greatest thing ever. I mean, okay, so they're not there's a list of really good things and these are on that list. So after that, I was thinking, well, I have some arcade games on Steam. I purchased, let's see here. I'm not going to dig it out. An Atari Classics Flash Black. I'm tired. I picked up an Atari Flashback game for the Nintendo Switch. Let me just get that so I can have some visual aid here. That would probably be good. Let's see here. Here we go. All right, hopefully I'm still in frame. So I purchased the Flashback Classics from Atari for the Nintendo Switch. Over 150 games. It's pretty cool. It's good. It's worth the money. It was like 20 bucks, I think. But I was thinking, like, how cool would it be? Because there's some Atari arcade games on here. How cool would it be to have like an arcade stick style controller to go along with this and my Steam games that are arcade style. So sure enough, 8Bitdo, my favorite company now, besides MSI, which is really not a great company anymore. They make the 8Bitdo arcade stick. This is kind of, I guess, you could say it's in the style of like maybe the NES Advantage, but this is way, way better than an NES Advantage. Even though I like the NES Advantage, this is a beast. This thing probably weighs 10 pounds. I'm not kidding you. And again, the build quality, fit and finish of these controllers is insane. The switches could be better. I will say that. These are kind of crap. These switches, the buttons and the switches in the stick are okay at best, but they actually made this modular, so you can actually switch out for genuine arcade switches. So that's super cool. Connects to Windows or any Bluetooth device. The Nintendo Switch, super cool. Super, super cool. This was kind of pricey. Forgive me, I do not remember how much I paid for it. It's kind of steep. And it may not really be worth investing in it, but I was kind of on a kick, right? So, when I first started looking into these and looking at some to buy and which one should I purchase, because I'm one of those people that tends to just research too much, right? So I did find that Nintendo themselves actually released original NES controllers for the Switch. They actually connected to the Switch, just like the Joy-Cons did. And they also made a Super Nintendo style controller for the Switch from Nintendo. And I was thinking, man, that would be super cool to have like legitimate hardware from Nintendo. Not that these aren't legit, but like the legit Nintendo brand controllers for the Switch in the style of the original controllers. But they were out of stock. And at the time I was thinking, well, knowing Nintendo, it's just going to be out of stock forever, because that's just what they do, right? They just, for some reason, Nintendo doesn't flood the market with things at first, right? They will release a product, let it sell out, people go crazy for it, and then they just don't make any more. And then maybe they'll make more later, kind of like they did with the NES Classic. I was on there the other day and noticed that the NES controllers were in stock, and I didn't need them anymore, but I wanted them, right? I wanted them bad. So I purchased said controllers from Nintendo themselves. So it was pretty cool getting a package from Nintendo of America, from the good old NOA. So I figured today we'll just unbox them. I mean, they're just Joy-Cons that are in the shell of NES controllers, like original, legit Nintendo NES controllers, brand spanking new, that are also Joy-Cons and have 2 shoulder buttons. But they're as close as you're going to get from Nintendo these days. So I thought it was super cool. Figured we would just check them out today. Let's do it. So here we are. We have the original NES Joy-Cons, I guess we should say, from Nintendo themselves. I think these are about 60 bucks, somewhere around there, somewhere in the vicinity of. Let's just dig into them. This is really awkward doing stuff with my hands on the other side of this tripod here, and I'm not really a big fan of unboxings. I don't do a lot of unboxings, but why the hell not? Let's just get into it today. They're packaged very well. Should we talk about the package? I don't know. It's a box. It has stuff. Here's this, whatever. It's a box. You've all seen boxes before. So obviously there's no wires or cables, so, you know, there you go. I do have the Hori. One thing I will say about these, what's nice is that they should charge on their own if they're connected to the Switch on the dock, because they should have a rechargeable battery in them. I have the Hori, I can't remember what it's called, but controllers that go onto the side of the Switch like Joy-Cons, but they're like the large controllers. They're not the small Joy-Cons, which I find incredibly uncomfortable when playing in the mobile mode. So let's just get one out here and check it out, individually wrapped. That's very nice. Let's see. Already I like the weight. Feels like an NES controller. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, it's been, I don't know if I've ever actually held a brand new NES controller, so I don't know if it's going to be, it might be hard for me to compare the feel. And if I have, it's been 30 years, so these feel pretty good though. This feels awesome. It's going to be amazing, just amazing playing Super Mario Bros. 3 with this. I mean, yes. Yes. Select and start feel just like it should. And of course, here's the attachment for, that's like the Joy-Con part that would attach to the Switch. This is probably a sync button, or maybe that's it. I don't know. I haven't used it yet. That D-pad feels so tight. I love it. It's not wore out from playing, you know, games. Anyway, these feel great. Absolutely great. What's on there? Can you read it? No, there's too much glare. Oh, here we go. Nintendo controller. And of course, all your modern junk. Made in China, that's good. So at least it's not made in Japan. I'm being sarcastic. I would much rather these be made in Japan. Japan makes really good stuff. But, you know, go figure. Big surprise there, right? You know, they make everything because we like buying things cheap. Who doesn't like to pay the lowest price? That's a video for another day. So why don't we just hook them up to the Switch and see how they look? They'll look absolutely ridiculous. I'm just gonna take a guess. Well, I can already tell you this looks absolutely just ridiculous. I don't know why you would ever do this. Alright, so what better game to try it with than the original Super Mario Brothers? Let's go. It just feels right. Something about this is, it's just obviously instantly takes me back to childhood. Staying overnight at my best friend's house. Jason, what's up? Quick shout out for you. And it's just, I don't know how you can play this game any other way. Like I said, playing with the Pro controller just didn't do it any justice. And I just had to get something. And when I seen these, it's just something I had to absolutely have. So that was a look at the Nintendo NES Switch Joy-Cons controllers things. Anyway, didn't get to play much, obviously. Battery's almost dead in the controllers. Obviously, you have to charge them first when you get them. I didn't. Rip them out of the package and then instantly started playing with them. But have them on my charging dock back there, and they look really kind of cool in there. I think if we could do that back in the day, and no cords. We've come a long way and went backwards on a lot of things. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, guys, and I'll see you next time.